If you guys are watching from around the world, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're watching from, right? Welcome to such an amazing tournament. We are back for the Reynas. My name is Shaky. This is REY casting with me right now. So I just want to say welcome, mate. Thank you so much for joining us for this eventful game today.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here, and I hope everyone here watching is as well. But getting underway into this game, I mean, there's lots to talk about. Talking about the runs that these teams have kind of made through these earlier rounds, and now coming in here with a pretty strong matchup, I would think.
Yeah, pretty strong indeed. Obviously, if we look just purely at the brackets that's been happening afar, well, obviously, just for you guys to know, we've got Team Prolific going up against REY Esports. And these are two juggernauts, it looks like, in the tournament so far. REY Esports have gone 2-0 against all the teams that they've played. They've gone up against Torpedo Esports, which they've 2-0, and they've gone against Dark Horse Valorant, which they've 2-1. So they're obviously in that they went to the game of three. But the real thing is Prolific has done exactly the same type of run against except with PNG Esports, they got a 2-0. And then unfortunately in the first bracket, they S Class did not pitch up for the game, so they got a DQ for that one. So they got an immediate 2-0 for that. So they're quite lucky. Both these teams are yet to be are undefeated really in the bracket going into this game. So quite excited to see what they bring to the table. Now, we casted the other day a little bit more of Team REY Esports. They did really well against Torpedo, 2-0'd them, and it was quite a showing of some talent that they had in front of them. I think the teams did really well. Now, coming into this game, I'm quite excited to see what they bring to the table.
Yeah, definitely, and I'd love to see some very exciting, flashy gameplay. Just overall, I mean, everyone loves those big plays coming in, but just taking a peek at the bracket, it seems like we've got ourselves a very nicely set up game, and I guess we get to see that going into this map selection too.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. Unfortunately, I would have had the opportunity to cast any of Prolific's games, but if they are strong enough to 2-0 any of these teams, especially PNG Esports, as in themselves have also been doing really well. I'm excited to see what they bring to the table. Obviously, it gets down to the nitty gritty. If we look at the video of these games coming up and what we can expect for the maps, I think when it comes to Valorant, it's purely up to how you play these maps. What is your type of draft? Because at the end of the day, you can't see what the enemy picks, but you still have to draft a pretty good combination of agents. Whether that is some of these teams going for that double initiator or double controller type of lineup, or whatever. I myself, I quite like this double controller.
Yeah, I mean, double controller, it's strong, but it's something that you have to really, really play a lot of those mind games with early on, and that's something you see in VCT a lot more. And something that you can get there that you can't really get here is you can watch those teams practice. You can watch them play these maps over and over and over. These teams probably haven't been able to do so much research on, say, what the other team was looking like so far this season. So, as we get underway into these games, you're kind of having a lot of these question marks, and it's really about deciding which map you can play the best.
Yeah, definitely. And that's exactly why the veto is there. Obviously, looking at the map bans in front of us, I do like seeing Icebox and Breeze being taken out. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like it's a Saturday. You don't have work. You've just loaded up into Valorant. You're ready to grind that rank. You want to try and get up into Immortal, and boom, first map Breeze. And immediately your day is set. It's difficult. It's a bit painful. You're trying to struggle. The first game's a loss, and then straight after that, you put on to bind and you're on the attacking side, and then you're struggling even more. So, with the current maps that we have to our disposal in the ranked, I think in the competitive pool, it's a bit difficult. These maps definitely leave a little bit of creativity up to play. But is there any other maps that you quite like in this?
Ooh, well, I mean, if my sources are correct, I want to make sure that I got everything correct here. But I'm seeing Ascent, I'm seeing Split. So these are kind of two maps that are a little bit closer quarters. You might see your traditional comp coming out on Ascent, but who knows really what it's gonna turn out to be. You've seen all of these different variations coming out, and Split, it's been a lot of question marks, Cypher heavy. So I'm interested
Yeah.
to see. I think it's gonna be the Battle of the Sentinels today.
Yeah, definitely is going to be Battle of the Sentinels, and it's crazy that you say that because even though Sentinels have been playing a integral part, we've been seeing Deadlock picked up in VCT. Even Gecko is coming out of the woodworks. Gecko has been a really weird initiator. The blind's not really about much of a pop flash. The nerf we've got of Sky's back, just with that Sky flash not being able to regenerate anymore, that kind of leaves up a little bit of space. We see in VCT that Gecko gets picked up a bit more, but obviously I think people are combining it with something like a breeze, like a breach, just be able to get those pop flashes around the corner. Still a great agent to pick up on its own. I want to see more ciphers purely because I am a bit of a cipher main myself, and I do like sitting around corners. I do like it when you put up that high trap and a jet just dashes through it, and you think,
Oh,
just fifth brain, like absolutely destroyed. But it's going to come down to these teams. So I'm excited to see what they bring to the table.
I despise you. I despise you as I am, I am a sentinel smoker main. I'll play my omen, so I'll TP you right past your trap wire. I don't care. I'll get that out of there. But certainly, all of my duelists are complaining. Where's my entry? And they just run into the trap wire, and that's not exactly how that's supposed to work. But for these teams here today, hopefully they're not going to have some of those moments where they're mauling, as they can hopefully deal with these sentinels maybe by using a KO or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think first map is going to be split. On the attacking side, we got REY Esports and Prolific on the defense side. So let's talk about Split, right? Split is one of the few maps. Well, I want to say one of the few, but it's one of the maps that's got a quite nice dedicated mid side. Just like CS, it's quite strong to have that mid in your game. Obviously, it just allows you to play around the map a bit more. You can set up a bit more utility. Obviously, Sentinels come into play just because you can control that mid area quite nicely, especially like a hero like agent like Sage. Is there anything about Split that you think might give us some interesting plays coming out today?
Ooh, I mean, I just want to go back to, I think it was KC versus Fnatic in VCT. You saw that Yoru play with that Omen paranoia that's just completely took out
Ooh.
Alpha Year. I mean, there's so much potential for these agents depending on what you can put out there and what you've got planned. So I really hope to see some of these set plays where you're just absolutely bullying the enemy team because you've practiced your executes or your trap plays so much.
Yeah, that's the thing though. It's these paranoia, like you say, these blinds from Omen that could be so detrimental to a team if you don't really plan around it enough. Obviously, we're going into a brand new type of patch, and it's so I feel like it's so flash and controller heavy. How much information can you deny from the enemy team? How much can you stop them from gaining off the bat? We see people picking up a KO and a Sova at the same time just to try and maximize the information because there's a lot of default play, a lot of back and forth, a lot of fakes here, committing for this side and then planting on a different side with a Viper. And it makes for some really, really interesting plays. I think Split definitely does play into that narrative a bit more. You've got a lot of utility to play around on site. And like you mentioned before, it is definitely a bit more close quarters. So Raise with a Bucky or a Judge or I just
Don't get me
no.
started.
I don't. If I think Split, I just get PTSD from Razors just blast backing into me and I'm dead as a
YZ?
what?
YZ? You ever oh, Billy and oh, hell no. No, thank you.
P
No, thank you.
PTSD throughout. But yeah, we should get started any moment now. I do believe we're just trying to sort out a little bit of few technical difficulties. But I mean, at the end of the day, Ari, it gives us an opportunity to just discuss what's going to happen on forward. So map one is going to be split. Um, I think Sage gets picked on this a lot. I think it's a kind of
Ooh,
meta pick. It's a very like a rank gold plat pick to wall off mid. Everyone goes, oh, just wall off mid. It should be fine. But people have found the ways to play around this. Now, if I
yeah.
were to throw out a prediction, I'd probably say we're probably going to look at something like a Fade as initiator, comboed with a Gecko, possibly a Cypher, Sentinel, initiator, probably like a Jet. You want to try and updraft and get through past any sort of traps for the Cypher. And then maybe Brim. I'm thinking yeah, I'm not really feeling this draft order. I can't really see what these teams are going to play, but I think REY is going to give us a bit of a surprise. What are you thinking?
Oh, I mean, Honestly, just in terms of, how these teams have been super, super dominant in the past, I wouldn't now, yes, you're probably gonna see double initiator, and that's probably what it's gonna be. But there's just a small chance that you see a double duelist comp come out here. I think it
Okay.
would be fun. I think it would be a kind of a little bit of a curveball and maybe something where, you'd see that, breach or that, let's see, gecko or KO, one of those three. Instead, you replace it with something like a Reyna or a Phoenix or a Yoru,
Oh,
something that
okay.
has that flash capability that allows you to get on site and can provide you with those duelist set plays. And then alongside with that jet, you got yourself a lot of firepower and you could put a big splash in this pool.
I like that. You know what? I'm gonna add to that. I'm gonna say I want to see a Yoru with a gecko. You got the pop flash of Yoru. Great initiator. I mean, Yoru is basically just a pseudo initiator, just like Chambers is pseudo duelist. So you can get on the site. You got the pop flash. You can get on site quickly. So you got Yoru as the duelist. You got Gecko as the initiator. Gecko's got great utility to try and get through it. And then if you want to go for the double duelist side, go Raze. Raze has got the paint canisters. You could just destroy any utility that's on site. So instantly you got it into the site. Raze got pretty much the same utility as Jet. You can blast back yourself onto site, get over those traps. If the Cypher's smart like myself, you can put a trap higher. So you could do that. Or however you want to play around it. What do you think?
I mean, I just want to talk about the fact that Raze is such a broken duelist. I
It
mean,
is.
there are so many duelists, right? But none of them do direct damage like Raze does. You have that showstopper, you have those pain shells, you have that Raze bot too to clear all those corners, and it's just super, super annoying, man. Like, you got movement as well if you choose to use them with the satchels. Like, you telling me that we're nerfing Sky? We're nerfing Killjoy? Now, Killjoy is understandable, but we need to do something about Raze. I mean, if Raze is just a staple in this meta, if Riot wants the Raze meta to be a thing, then I guess so be it. And I wouldn't be surprised to see it from these teams here today.
Yeah, I mean, Raze, like you say, is really broken. But I've been seeing Yori come out quite a lot as well, and we just spoke about it. It's nice. I do like the pop flash. I think pop flash is a very broken ability. If I'm looking at a lineup and I'm playing something like a cipher, whether or not I'm going to lurk, the distance of lurk I'm going to go is determined by what type of flashes the enemy has. If I'm going to be walking up on behind the enemy and there's a sky, a Yoru of a breach, you best believe I am not going to go up close because they will pop flash my corner. I will be blind. I will have epilepsy. I won't be able to see a thing and I'll be dead. So I think that's a big thing to take into account when you're trying to pick up these plays. Now, for split, moving over to controllers, I do see people picking up Vipers lately.
Mm,
I think I said earlier, I used the word pseudo. Like Viper for me is a pseudo sentinel as well.
mm.
You get a lot of between these agents, the type of cat. Just with a snake bite, she can alone hold a choke point until you can get your team to rotate at least one or two bodies. So what do you think about controllers for this game?
I mean, hot take. I personally don't like Viper on this map. I understand she is very powerful. There's a lot of things you can do. That mid control, that orb is really, really nice. It just I guess it's not that I don't think she's good on this map. I just don't like to play against her on this map. It's really annoying. And it provides, like that sentinel duality, like you said, and but Cypher is such a great pick as well on this map. I mean, if you throw a Cypher with that Viper, it's just pure chaos over in that mid and over on that A side, I believe. So it's just pure pandemonium. And for these teams, I mean, you're going to see this double controller, chances are. You're probably going to see that Viper and either an Astra or an Omen because of those rechargeable smokes. But Viper, there's so much potential for her kit, and I feel like teams fall into this rut of just playing her traditionally. They throw the same wall, you have your Viper go and lurk there, you try and make some space, and I want to see someone reshake the meta. I want somebody to be like, hey, we're going to utilize our Viper to, yeah, maybe we condition them to say, we can lurk with this wall. but then use her somewhere else. Use those snake bites offensively to clear out some corners. I think it would just be an interesting style and strategy that would definitely catch an opponent off guard.
It would definitely. I agree with you on that. And it's funny that you say Viper won't be good, but it's basically just because you don't like the agent and you find
Yeah.
it annoying. So that's the real reason. We're picking out. Yeah, it's not because you think it's bad. It's because you have PTSD like I have from flashes. So I'll take that and I'll say, you know what? Fair enough. Viper is an annoying agent to go up against. I completely agree with you, especially on Split. So looking at our lineup and looking at what we're going to look forward. Finally, we're going to look at going into the game in a couple of seconds as we're trying to figure out some stuff. But I think we've analyzed this map in its entirety, and I think we're pretty good. But we're going to go back to Agent Select. We're going to have a look, and we're going to have a see what we have in store for this game. So we're going to wait for that to load up. But other than that, Ari, I got to tell you, if someone picks up something surprising at this point, I don't think that's really going to happen.
Hear me out.
Okay.
Neon.
No.
No?
No. No, I
No,
don't
you
want
don't
to
want
see it.
Neon?
No,
Okay,
why?
well,
Why?
I
Why?
understand these teams aren't team
Uh,
heretics, but
This is
like
not
Neon would be cool.
Apex. This is not Apex, Ari. We don't need movement, okay? And you know what? Neon's good, but I'm gonna come at the same angle as you came with Viper. All right? I find it annoying. I don't want people slide canceling around a corner like it's some sort of COD versus Apex duel battle, and you have to suddenly try and Ferrari peek someone's corner, but your mouse sensitivity is so low. By the time that you get to the end of your mouse pad, you've only moved a couple of feet in game. So, like, it is soul destroying to try and go up against that.
Well,
All
now
right.
we
So,
got those agent picks, yeah.
yes, we have. So, we see the Gecko breach. I like it. I really like this.
Oh. Oh!
Oh, okay.
Oh!
Okay. So we have what you want and we have what I want. So, but we have a harbor, ladies and gentlemen, something that I have actually seen REY Sports play, and they're not that bad. Rising has played phenomenal harbor games so far in these games, so far in these matches. So having that picked up, I'm gonna say I like it. I think that was a harbor and Viper lineup. They usually play that.
Yeah. Harbor Viper, you take those controllers and you can piece them together into that puzzle, section out what pieces of the map you want, and it's going to allow you to do some very, very annoying things. Now, I would say, as much as I dislike Viper, I love when she is paired with that Harbor. It just provides for so much duality. You can split the controllers up, you can use them on the same site. It's really powerful on attack. I mean, there's so many things you can do, and speaking of so many things you can do, you got a Neon on that team as well. I called it. I didn't know that I was going to call it, but I guess I did.
Yeah, you did indeed. And for those of you guys watching right now, on the attacking side, we have REY Esports. Defending on the other side, we have got Team Prolific going up against each other. Now, both these teams are in a 2-0 phase. Both games that they've played against their opponents, they have won. So it's time to be reckoned. Today, we'll figure out what team is going to basically dirty up their history and actually lose one of these games. We're going to get this immediately started. Pistol round, always one of the important parts of this game. A good establishment to see where they're going to bring the action and where they're going to try and move back and forth.
Zipix is going to get that first kill. It looked a little bit rough right off the bat, but do manage to land the shot, and that's going to allow for this plant to come down, and it's going to get planted in, I think, the open. Maybe not. No, it's behind map, I think. So I'm a little bit of a troll there, but the screen is tiny at the end of the day. So now you got some shots coming out, but Zipix is just finding everybody, and one retake comes in, but all of the picks are going in favor of REY, and they will put themselves on the board first.
Yeah, that's going to be a pretty good round for them. Obviously, you just have 3 people still left over. You can buy some. It's not a flawless round, but I do think that REY's going to go out of this one quite happy. This is the type of games that they want to play. I've seen them play up against Torpedo. They want to just put on pressure from the get-go. We're going to see Zipix. Zipix and Maui was, oh my word, they were playing a different kind of game last time we saw them. So we're definitely going to expect them to keep that pressure on. But my eyes are on Team Prolific. I want to see what they bring to the table and where that's going to stand overall. We'll see what that is going to give us.
Did you say pressure from the get-go or pressure from the gecko? Because either way, it's still going to be the correct call. And
okay.
I mean, B-side's free.
it definitely is. They might be able to push a little bit onto side. I like the way that they're playing right now as well. They can easily play onto side, but just look at the defense coming up from Prolific. They're just gonna walk around through their spawn with an anchor on Heaven with this Viper.
Yeah, I mean, the Heaven anchor is something that you do want. You want to be able to pinch in these teams from both sides. But the only question is how much value can you really get in one person against two? And the answer is 0. Maybe 6 damage total.
Probably 4 that respect. But again, REY putting out a show. It was a difficult one. I think that little Maui was in a position that they did not expect. They were rotating through spawn. They had the Viper sitting down in mid to try and anchor, try and get a bit more information, and then the Cypher was there to try and hold down as well Heaven. And that fault line coming through from Breach really made it difficult for the Viper to really do much. Once one of your players goes down, and you relied on them to give you a bit more information, I think teams start to pick up pace a bit more, so they kind of lose sight and get a bit of tunnel vision. And that might have been the reason for Team Prolific losing that round, but we into the bye round now, so hopefully we can see a little bit more action with these rifles being picked up.
I love this aggression up ramp. It really shows that you're not afraid, even though it's your bonus round. You certainly are looking to do some damage, and now they're going to re-clear this area with the util, which I kind of wish they would stay up there a little bit more, try and take that earlier fight, because at the end of the day, they want to take their fights early. They are at slight disadvantage. Instead of spreading out, letting them come to you and kind of getting dumpstered on in terms of numbers. But it looks like it's instead of fake towards A and a sort of a reposition over towards this B, but that's going to prompt out the dog, and that information is going to be gathered to see at least just one player.
Yeah, I do see a very quick rotation coming from Prolific. That's maybe what REY Esports wants here. We see them holding down this mid area, actually putting 3 bodies towards it to hopefully try and get a crossfire going on if someone tries to peek them. And this might play into their favor. Obviously, they're going to try and push towards B side, get that information. Gecko's going to try and get the plant down, and this might be very favorable.
Yeah, and you can see that flash coming out, and it does get that information that those players are going to be there. So it's kind of just a question of do they know that they can land those shots on those players if they do end up making contact. Right now, we can't quite see. We're having some technical difficulties. I know on the stream is what we're hearing, but we're kind of playing that waiting game of, ooh, what's gonna happen? We have the suspense.
Definitely, and that is the suspense is going to be quickly taken away as we do see REY Esports going to come straight into it, and Zipic is the one on the front line, the spear of the team, that spearhead really pushing up forward and getting that necessary information. And now talking about importance of this game, that is a very important round for Team Prolific to lose. You've just gone into your bye round. Economy was really good for you. Now it's going to be a bit tight. If they can actually afford a sheriff or 2, that might make it a bit difficult for them trying to get back into this game.
I mean, definitely any time a team converts a bonus round, it's something that is very, very strong and kind of breaks the opponent's economy, and something that you never really want to see. But that Viper orb coming out will actually give away the positioning of that Viper. So let's see if that becomes anything.
Slide from Mini. That's such a good slide, though. Zai might be able to clean up from this. Oh, but man, there's just so much utility from Maui that they can't really hold on to this mid area enough. But Clam, okay, that's relaxed, mate. Okay, that's ridiculous. Like, man's jumping through the air. That's an apex shot. We're talking about this a lot. Like, yeah, that needs to get said.
Well, I think that cross was a little bit ambitious there. You're thinking, oh, they're just suddenly going to stop shooting the place where I was last seen? I don't think so. They're going to still remember that you're there, and especially know that since they tagged you up to pretty low HP, that heal will try and come in, but it's not going to help you take some bullets to the face. And now you got the Reyna's just... They're doing a really, really nice job of just taking this pressure and putting it in favor of them.
Yeah, they have to. I mean, REY is known for converting these rounds into good opportunities. Zipex does not even care about peeking corners. They just throw the blast back. They look at the person. They're just like, I'm just gonna casually move aside, and then I'll take care of you in a second, mate. So just hold your horses. But Rise is gonna be lost instead. I mean, I didn't even get to finish my sentence.
Well, that's flawless.
There you go. I was talking about flaws in the pistol round, and 5 rounds in, we've got it. Now,
Yeah.
from a standalone point, right? We obviously we see a 4-0 on the scoreboard,
Mhm.
right? Team Prolific, they need to come back. They're on the defense. This is arguably the strongest place to be on split. You want to start on defense. It's a good starting point. But if you're gonna get run over like this, you don't have a sentinel. You have a viper. You got what's that? That's yeah. There's no sentinel there. So how you deal with this?
What I want them to do is kind of take some of that aggression. You have that neon, so you're going to have to play a little bit faster, a little bit more aggressive on that defensive side. And right now, they're just not taking their space. And sure, they get a pick in mid, but anybody can be holding that angle. It doesn't necessarily need to be this neon, but the plant will come down for REY Esports. And they're feeling pretty strong with that 4v5 retake. They haven't had trouble so far. There's a detain onto one, fighting the second. Oh, numbers are just in their favor, but here comes the flood back in. G7 Phantom gets one on the board, but there's a trade there. Now these players, oh, they're stunned up. Mini gets one, but it's close. Zowie gets one as well, but it's going to be Maui to finish that one off. And 5-0. I mean, if this was my ranked game, my team would already be spamming to FF.
They'd be surrendering immediately. And I mean, props to Prolific, though. They still need to try and get this back. But this is what we spoke about. I mean, in all the different drafts that we thought about agents going into this map for Split, we discussed Sentinels. Sentinels are exceptionally good at locking down side B and A, especially B. Cypher, we'll see this when REY switches over to defending side. Cypher can go anywhere and be effective as anything. So to have two controllers, to have two duelists, and then this initiator, it might, like you say, maybe aggression is what they're lacking.
And ooh, that's an awkward play smoke, I will say. It's just, it provides that little pocket to play in, which will get cleared out just a little bit by that raise bot. So, you know, something there, but
Oh.
what's found for Rising, it's a bullet rising into his head.
Okay, this is not bakery quotes, Ari. Okay, we busy watching Valorant at the moment. Cloud might be able to get one. A Bucky. You know what? I'm happy when I see someone with a Bucky go down, because shotguns in this game annoy me. All right, I just PTSD. Like, again, this is too much for me to deal with to try and see a Bucky come around the corner. I think that neon might have peeked that corner a bit too much, but I do think they might have an opportunity to convert this. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, Hick got really close to not being able to take that one out.
I mean, he probably should have landed that shot early and cleaned that one up nicely. Probably would have escaped with his life too, but now instead it's just down to Siental. Siental is struggling, but does get that first pick, but a very tall task in front of them. Is a 3v1 with just a Sheriff is not the easiest of feats and will fall at the end of the day, but I mean, they've got some potential to win this round here, right? Even though it's 6-0, they have 4 ultimates, they have this timeout that they're going to do, and they're going to have guns this round.
Yeah, that's good. If I was Prolific, I'd call the timeout as well. We need to have that space to be able to just relax, recuperate, get that motive back in. We saw a couple of days ago, right, Ari? We saw a game between, believe it was OOT or OOT versus Layer Esports. Now, the first game, Layer Esports, was up 10-5. It was a really tight game. OOT was trailing behind, really struggling. What then happened afterwards was a timeout gets called, 10-5. Layer Esports having won at least 5 rounds in a row. OOT calls a timeout, and I'm telling my co-caster, look, this is their last hurrah. This is the opportunity for them to come back into this game. They take that timeout, and I'm telling you, they must have had quite the speech, because they come back and actually win that game in its entirety, that entire series. So there's an opportunity for these teams to take this timeout seriously and maybe recuperate whatever mental they're going through and possibly bring this back.
Right there.
I mean, yeah, they have 4, almost 5 ults. They're just one alt orb off. So,
Right there.
you know, certainly something can be done this round, but it's going to have to be that aggression, like we say. You want to fight for the right thing, but oh, there's Reed coming out in REY. They're aware that this aggression is going to come through, but they're going to decide back off. And look, yes, you made that space towards the main, but they decide to back off. Here's the breach ult, and it was the right call to back off as that space gets re-cleared by REY, and they will invest everything and the whole kitchen sink, really.
The whole caboodle is going to be thrown out just to try and get all the site. And Zipic's going to try and clear. Yeah, we have the ult coming from Rage as well. Zipic's trying to clear those corners. Even the flash going to come out from Maui to try and help him. Ult's going to barely nick on the side of Rising as they try and get hold of the side. Two kills already going straight towards Team Prolific.
Whoa.
But Kusa picks around the corner. But unfortunately, Heek is there with Sentinel as they clear up and hold tightly onto site. But Zawi says no. There's still a bit of an anchor onto a site. And we have Spike still available. Plant's still there. Might be able to play a bit more here, but it is going to be a top heaven with the Viper, and then Raze is going to come through spawn. But is Zawi going to be able to hold down and pick around the corner? But Heek is there, anchoring it down for his team with a beautiful tweaker.
Well, there you go. You got around, and what was it off of? The back of the Secrets. It kind of helped stall that plant out a little bit, and you know, let's say that bomb does go down, you have that showstopper, you know where that player is. You're pretty good to secure the round there. I think they would have a tough time throwing that one away, but you know, 6-1 does seem to be the case right now, and yeah, REY, they used a lot of ultimates there. They didn't want to lose that round, but they did.
Yeah. They still have 3 ultimates left. We got Heek, Rising, and Mini. Economy's looking a bit scrawny. Mini's going to go for a half buy, possibly just damage off of that initial start. So they're probably not trying to invest another 1,000 credits just to get that going. So going to hold down a bit on economy, but this is the opportunity to bring back. Like I said earlier, these tactical pauses are working wonders.
Yeah, and you just need that second to maybe regroup sometimes. Just say, hey, let's not overthink this. Let's just win. Let's just shoot them in the face and play traditional good old Valorant. Sometimes the mind games can be a little much. And this mind game doesn't seem to be too hard right here as Ike will try and throw that bait shell in and try and clear out that space, but will find a molly of his own in return, but will maintain in there. But look at Mini. Mini gets one and Ciento gets one as well, so yeah, these players are starting to fall for REY. They are not looking super happy right now.
Well, they might have actually taken heed to what we say. Maybe they paused the game just to wait a little bit longer to try and get some sort of advice from the casters. I'm just kidding, guys. They do not do that. But basically, they've slowed it down. I do like the way that they're playing. REY has really got to look over the shoulders, and the way the Prolific's playing right now is really favorable. REY does. Zawi peeks around the corner. Mini's there for the trade on Kasa as Zawi's still up and available, but the stun's gonna come in as Sientel is there immediately to get the conversion. And we're now looking at a 6-2. Ari, I'm quite liking where this is going.
It's a W satchel right there if I've ever seen one. Sure, stunned up is something, but you still got that first bullet with that crosshair placement to make a difference, and that satchel's going to take that right away from you, and you're not going to be able to have that first bullet accuracy anymore. It's just you're completely you're completely flying in the air and you're stunned. It's not a fight that you want to take, and luckily it's recognized by Team Prolific. They're starting to heat up a little bit. They're starting to feel that team coordination, but REY, they're going to say, we're still in this one. We still have a 6-2 lead for a reason, so let's make something do because of it.
Yeah, they're going to have to try and hold on as best they can. But honestly, if they add too much pressure, they might fall exactly into the trap that Prolific is setting for them. And that is this really, you just see them holding back, Sientel Rising, just picking them off bit by bit as they're trying to take up space. Zawi does not spot out Heek as he comes up the ropes from mid. I can't even speak, it's a little bit too much for me there. But a really strong start from Prolific as they start to claw themselves back into this game.
And I think the team comms were a little bit off there. I mean, anytime that you see a duelist kind of the last one alive really means that the entry, the plan wasn't quite heard from the entire team. They were a little bit confused on what was going on, and I think this is a valuable call here to take a timeout over for REY. Makes sense. You lost 3 rounds after being up in such dominant fashion, up 6 straight. So this makes sense. They're probably thinking, okay, they found a hole in our defenses. Now let's figure out what theirs is now.
Yeah, definitely. Timeout is just exactly what we need right now for both teams. It's a bit up in the air. REY probably thinking we've in the past gained momentum like this and pretty much kept it going. But suddenly Prolific has taken a second to think about what's going on. and they've figured out a plan. They've seen the snake in the grass, and they've figured out how to beat it. So I'm just curious to know what's going to happen next. Obviously, talking just purely about economy, it does look like Ray is in a bit of a tatters here. They've got one sheriff. They possibly could sell that sheriff and go for a bulldog buy, but they're going to opt. I think Clam is much happy to be able to hold down on that weapon. But starting this next round, I'm starting to like what I see. I really think this aggression from Prolific is going really good for them.
Yeah, and this aggression really is. It seems to be that magic combo that's working for Team Prolific, which, you know, is kind of strange why they didn't realize that a little bit earlier. They should probably have that mentality going into this game, but I guess they were trying to catch the opponent off guard, and they certainly did. They said, we're going to play slow instead of fast, and it surprised them. They took advantage of it, granted, but it was certainly something to throw a little wrench in the plan.
Yeah, then the Viper comes out, pops up the ult, and completely denies. Like, this read, I love to see this read. Like, look at Phantom. G7 just sits in the smoke with a, with, with a shorty, and just, like, they just understand that Ray wants to take up space. They want to try and push down, but they want to get the information, and then they get picks like this. Obviously, Ray is going to try and go off of that, and I do think they might be lacking in the fact that they might not notice that Ray's still going to try and push aside from another angle.
And there you go. There's that site hit over on B. And site seems to be empty. And that's something that I want to mention is it seems like REY, they don't quite find the right necessarily site to pick at the right times, but here's the fight where they're going to have to take it at the right time. It's right now. And that Harbor ult is going to cause a lot of chaos, but Clam will still get that one. Will invest that Cypher ultimate, but ooh, just narrowly escaping. Phantom will fall. There's the showstopper, though, to clean that one up, and it's now just a 1v1 remaining, and Zip is going to high ground. That's a really, really strong play. This bomb is planted for them, so it should go in their favor, but you're gonna have to catch the right timing. There's the first tap. And there's the peek, knowing that the player is off, is trying to stick it to half, spots the head, but is there enough time? No, there is not. It's close, but no cigar. REY will take this one off the back of their timeout, and that's something that they wanted to see.
Wow, that was so close to being a perfect round for Prolific. I mean, they just pushed into this corner. Like, REY went in no hold bars. It was like watching WWE SmackDown. They just did not care. Four of them ran into spawn from B, and they said, you know what? We're flashing this corner. We're all peeking this. We're going to Ferrari peek this corner. We're going to, whatever you want to call it, we're just going to go for it. And exactly what they did. They got a pick off Neon. They played it from there. They got the information they need. Granted, they did lose a few too many bodies from that sky. Showstopper came through, also collecting a few more bodies as well off the back end of that. But they did what they needed to do after that, and that's get points on the board. So 7-3, good round for REY. Just came off of a kind of a shaky buy, and that should be good for the economy.
I think that round was really, really big in the grand scheme of things because here's his contact first. It's Phantom that takes one. Is he where the second one? I don't think he was just quite yet. And Zowie will find that.
Snake bite. Oh, full health.
Oh, the dog could have killed him. Oh, that would have been one for the ages. That would have been the dog kill of all time. And you know, you got that spike going down over on this A site, so things are happening, but it's a 3v3 at the end of the day. The Seeker's invested as well. That's the final ultimate online. Hike just barely dodging that breach utility. Will survive, but now Clam's in a pickle. He's gonna go down, and now it's just onto this one side player. The paranoia catches, though. That's a beautifully timed play. And Maui gets his one on main. It's now just down to Hike, and Hike is not in a spot to clutch this one out. It looks like the call will be to keep going and now to save. So, yep, that Omen ultimate does get invested at the end of the day. But, I mean, the round... Oh.
No, they're gonna not go for that. Oh, we just barely missed it. But he actually gets the kill on Cussa, so... That, even though they won that round, that's value. They could keep that rifle. They got the money. It's last round, so it's desperately needed. 2.1k in the bank for Heek, so they might be able to buy anyone if they need some money for a sheriff or whatnot. But a good round altogether. We might see a 9-3. We might see a 9-3, Ari.
Which, you know, sometimes teams root for and sometimes they don't. It just depends on if they have luck on their side or whatever deity they pray to with the cursing and all that, and all that good stuff. But
I just want
you
to
know,
see 9 and 3 because it's fun. Okay, it's just you can't beat it at the end
for
of
the
the day.
bit.
It's for the content, for the memes, for the vine, as we used to say a long time ago. Now this could turn into a pretty good round. G7 does have this operator holding down mid, so they've got a bit of a lockdown. They've decided to commit 3 towards B. Now, whether or not Rey knows this, it might be up for debate, but I do feel like they're smelling someone.
Ooh, Phantom
Yeah.
barely missing that elbow there. It's a good thing that I guess that Viper doesn't work out too much. Otherwise, that muscle would have probably gotten caught by that operator bullet.
Yeah, that would have been a pretty good pick. Smoke is a good option for them to get down that mid, so Viper's going to have to play around that. But we do see a little bit of a push. I mean, that blind going to come out from Gecko is going to give away the position, and we see an immediate rush. But there is still an uncontested Omen. Leo's down mid. Oh, is that going to land?
No.
They're not. Oh, they landed
Oh,
on
it
2. Oh, the peak's there. The peak. Hold on a minute. Wait. Oh, it was so beautiful. The blastback paint canisters were there to clean up the back end side. Clam is there also to jump shot on the side, but Mini is a bit too quick for that trigger. As Mini trying to close it down, but Clam's going to pick up that spike. But oh, the paint shells with the ult from Gecko just clean up the back of Spawn. Now Mini needs to pick up the rolling for Casa. They do find that one. This is 2v1 as Minis just sit on 30 health. Trying to hold this down. All they needed Yoga against is Class, Maui, and Clam. But the trap's there. This might be detrimental for Mini, as they need to try hold on to this last round. And again, the trap's going to hold it down. And this is exactly what you're trying to see from a Sentinel, as it's just impossible to try and do anything while you're getting trapped up like that.
That overdrive was saved the entire half. I think it was available in like round 5, round 4, and it ends up being a, oh, there's a trip. Can't forget about that one. Oh, it's the same trip. I forgot about that one. And it was just a very comedic timing. The sheer panic you could see on the movement, and it ends up being that 9-3 like you mentioned. But it is, what seems to be prolific. They have this neon, right? So they should, fingers crossed for their sake, have some sort of attack plan. They didn't go neon for no reason, so this is probably where they're going to be feeling a little bit better about themselves.
Yeah, that was a really good round for them. 9 and 3 though. So we're going to swap it around a bit more. Rey is now going to switch over to be on the defense side. So we're going to see that Cypher in action. I think the site of choice that Cypher is going to opt for is A. Now, whether that is Cypher just trying to go for that initial thinking that they might just purely push A, or whether that being that they're actually going to stick to this side is up for question. But personally myself, I love playing Cypher on B side.
Yeah, I mean, B side, you kind of have that hold potential with that flooding in. So I think it's more for a hard push, and maybe that A setup a little bit more used for info. But just, I think it's a really nice counterplay. If you have this Viper wall up on A, your camera can see over it under ramp. You can see the toes. The cam won't get spotted. As well as you could watch main too with the camera showing off of a trip. You can activate a cage if it's there. I mean, there's just so many things you can do with Cypher on this A site for information that really, if a team tries to play slow, it's going to be problematic for them. But they're not playing slow. They have this neon, so that could certainly be a factor that comes into this one.
And it definitely is. They've got all the utility they need. The wall's going to come up from Mini. But again, man, Mini just unlucky by getting caught in these traps. They're going to be able to clean it up. But being the pistol round, this is quite a big round for Rey to try and hold on as best as they can.
Ooh.
But it is all falling apart for Team Prolific. It's a bit tough to try and go up against a Sentinel.
Oh no. Oh no, the Paid Shell gets one. How many Paid Shell kills is that this game? 3? Is it more than
honestly, if anyone in chat has been paying a lot of attention to the amount of utility used, I'd love any one of you guys to give us some sort of info. Like, just an estimate of how many paint canister kills you've seen happen in this game. Because, I mean, Zipix has just been on it. it's just been so good.
Yeah, Zipix is really having a nice game, and I think that's why you're seeing the success come out from REY Esports here. But I mean, the game isn't over. There's still very much time in this game. A lot of potential. I mean, we could be not even halfway through this game for all we know. It really just depends on what kind of stance Team Prolific makes going into these future rounds. But look at the Cypher setup. It changed a little bit. You're playing even more info heavy. You're playing camera with this trap setup on mid. Oh no, this could be dirty. They spotted the cam and they
he's
walled
just
it
waiting
off.
for it.
But yeah, it's gonna be
Oh.
deadly.
Oh, it's not gonna land though. Oh, they're all gonna pick him around the corner with the shorty. Oh, that's disgusting. Paint canister kill again from Zippix. Are you mad, mate? What are we seeing?
DJ Khaled said, another one.
And it seemed exactly that though. Still, second round in. We still have a lot to be desired in this game. REY are definitely on the richer side of things. So this is where Clam's utility comes to play. Spectre in hand, holds the corner, kind of waits for this push to come up through mid. He does expect him to come. Zippix there for the support. The Stinger's going to come straight up, and Mini's immediately with the trade. But look at Clam cleaning up the round. And now we're sitting on 11 and 3, Ari. And it's slowly coming to a realization that REY Esports might have this game in the bag.
Yeah, that bait setup was pretty nice there. I mean, there's only so much you can do. If all of your presence is shown in mid and you have no other map control, your only chance is to push out, and it's just expected. Cypher's on A, so it makes sense. They have all of that space, and that's why map control is such a big part of the Valorant game, the Valorant chess game, if you will. Just playing those mind games and overall picking the right site to go to. Right now, it hasn't been that great for Prolific, but they do have their guns now. There is going to be a slight gun advantage, so this is the round there where if anything's going to happen, it's going to be this round.
It is. I like the way Cypher is playing, though. You mentioned earlier about the switching around of his utility. Those traps have purely been, I believe, switched around because it got broken in that first round. So this is what I like from a Cypher play. He knows that Team Prolific knows where his traps is. So it wasn't broken when they pushed through mid. So he's going to put it exactly the same place and play that angle. Until this angle does not work for him, he'll then switch up that play. But unfortunately, this time, G7's going to smell the rat and go for the pick, and he's going to go straight down, and that's going to give them a free side.
Are you saying that? Did you like to see that from a Cypher player? How about that? You like to see them go down? Because I certainly did, because I am a certified Cypher hater. Put me on that list. I am all down for that. But, you know, it seems like these teams are kind of just worried here. They have these guns, they want to do damage here, but they're gonna have to make the right decision on when to make that push. And ooh, I think some tags were making its way up, but Maui might have a timing here, and yes, he does land the shot. Zowie will get traded out, but now the blind will come out, and there will be 2 players spotted. There's a neon flying at you, but luckily it's your teammate. Now damage. Ooh, does get a tag on there, and will get 1 extra pick, but that Guardian will not catch everything else. So, you know, REY will fall. It is their bonus, so they're probably not too worried, though.
I mean, that's pretty good. Getting 2 picks coming off of your bonus, that does a bit of damage off the buy. Like, you're kind of happy with that. You know, even though they got to get you on that one, getting 2 picks off the bat, that's exactly what you want. You want to at least try and get 2, minimum, to set yourself up a little bit more.
It's not as successful as their first bonus round, where they won 6 straight.
Yeah.
Can't forget about that.
Yeah, that was a tough one, and I think that, yeah, we do forget about that. But opportunity for them to hold down. While we see Cypher actually switching towards the B side again. This is what I like. The previous round, we had this Viper get past his traps, get the pick off of him. That obviously was quite annoying. Now, not to fall for the same trick twice, he's going to opt for switching it around and going straight to holding down B side, which is nice. It keeps the enemy on their toes. Prolific has to keep thinking, where are these traps? Where is he putting them? Where can we push? Where's dangerous? What can we do? What can't we do? And that's exactly what Cypher is trying to do.
Speaking of traps, look over at that A setup, but it looks like that's not going to be the case, as instead mid control will be taken. But I'm pretty sure that REY Esports is fine with that. They are more than capable of dealing with that. And oh, the timing is not there. Zowie just turning away, but that player is known, so they're going to try and fight him. And yes, it will go. And that's the bomb. That's going to give a lot of information over. Now you have the showstopper to stall this plan, and it is going to be very, very tough to get this back, even if numbers are the same.
Yeah,
30
definitely. That's
seconds
going to be
left.
tough for them to try and get. The Vibes going to come back around. This is what I wanted to say before that happened. Clam was a little bit, oh my word, Casa lining it up perfectly. This might go bad for Prolific. They need to watch out, though. They've got a lot of people from behind, a lot of people trying to push up forward. He really needs to try and pick their battles, but the crosshair placement was a bit too bad on that one. Sitting down at the knee area and getting their knees taken out from below them.
Well, you don't know if they're upper or lower. I mean, there's always a gamble.
It is always a gamble. It's a tough one. It was a tough game, and I liked where they were going with pushing through Heaven on B, getting that kill off on Clam, but Casa just waiting there, getting that line up and securing that round for them. Now going into that match point, and as important as ever, you got to get that timeout going.
Yeah, and maybe the one fatal mistake there from that previous round was you're sending 4 up mid, and your lurker is the one that has the spike on A. Now I get it, the call is to end A, but if that pick happens, which it did, you are now playing from behind. You have to play the attack, the aggressive. You are forced to play into the defender's hands, and that's something you just don't want to do, especially with these very, very powerful players like Zipix and Clam, really, who have been having games of their own, and now it's just what can you do now to get 8 straight rounds and somehow tie this one up, get yourself to OT with what is it, a semi-broken bye here?
I don't know. I don't know if you want to splash water in your face, what type of guy you are. You drink a Red Bull. If you like Popeye and you get some spinach in your blood. Like, I don't know. I don't know what you need to give, but you're going to have to give a lot of it to try and get back of this. And they are near attacking. This is where they're supposed to be thriving. They've got Initiator, 2 Sentinels, 2 Duelists, and 2 Controllers. They need to be denying information, getting those blinds, getting the corners, trying to establish themselves on the site. That's just unfortunately not happening exactly. This Cypher really playing games with him, switching over to a side.
Yeah, that's really, really nice. And it's going to take a whole lot of Wheaties to get yourself up those 8 rounds, but Wheaties are for those champions, for those winners, and let's see if they can pull any success now. There's another paint shell kill, by the way, and Zowie says, I don't need a paint shell, I have my gun, and the trades will be there. The stack was there, the mass rotate, and it's now just down to a sheriff, and the location's revealed, and that would be a showstopper to end off the game. A very anticlimactic finish, but it is 13-4 at the end of the day, and REY, they did their job.
They did indeed, and Team Prolific, I just want to say you guys tried your best. That was a good, and this is a best of 3, right? This is still a series. So we do have an opportunity for these teams to get back into it. Prolific has that time that they can take to themselves to get everything sorted. But like we said, first game done and dusted. RE, we've got everything in the bag. Now it comes down to how they play the game. We are going to take a quick take pause and some just to check some things out. We're going to give the teams a bit of breathing room. We're going to go drink some water, and we'll see you guys shortly.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Reynas from the Shadows. We got ourselves a pretty good matchup so far, but maybe a little bit of a blowout towards this map. Number one between REY Esports and Team Prolific. Right now, REY is leading 1-0. My name is Ari Casts. I'm here with Shaky, and Shaky, tell us more.
Right, I don't know where to start. Honestly, I wanted Team Prolific to come back in that. We had a 9-3, right? The curse was there. It was available. It was up for grabs. And I really thought that Team Prolific is going to do it. And it looked like they had the pieces to win that match. But unfortunately, the chess pieces was more inclined towards REY Esports' side. They definitely played really well. I think the comp was really strong and split, even though you're trying to go for a double initiator, double controller type of play. Uh, Actually, it was a double controller, double duelist initiator for Prolific, and in theory that works really well. But like you mentioned, maps like Split is very close quarters. You can use those flashes, you can use the utility, but you just don't have that extra level of defense. You can't leave a sentinel alone on B side and just hope that they can lock down that site and keep it while you're trying to focus on something else. So that, in my opinion, did not go to favor Team Prolific, but it is not the end of the world. We still have a map 2 coming out, and that map is going to be what, Ari?
Oh, you're going to put me on the spot like that? I
No, it's
believe
gonna
it's
be.
Ascent,
It
right?
is Ascent. Yes,
Ah,
yes,
okay.
yes, yeah. That was not. You were like, I got that one. Got that one.
I got that.
No,
I got that one. If you had asked me more than that, I don't know. I don't know how
no.
I'd do.
Ascent's perfect. Yeah. Ascent's exactly what we're looking at. Obviously, now looking at the map, this is pretty much the same as Split.
Yep. Yeah, it is. It's the comps might be different, sure, but the same sort of play style is going to occur. Hopefully, these teams are a little bit more familiar though with how their enemy is going to be playing this map. So maybe at least some closer reads there, and hopefully a closer game as well. I mean, you're talking it was 13-4 last time. You're telling me there was more paint shell kills in that game than rounds won by Team Prolific? I mean,
do
that's a
we
stat for you.
do we have a number
I think it's
yet?
at least five. I did count at least five.
Yeah, at least that's minimum. That's absolute minimum. But that being said, we're gonna pop over to Agent Select so we can actually use what we've been talking about in detail about Split and see if we have exactly the same type of lineup happening. Now, Split is one of those maps that has that mid lane quite contested. Exactly, sorry, Ascend has that mid lane very contested piece. It's a very unique mid lane. Kind of reminds me a bit CS:GO-esque when it comes down to it. What are we expecting from this today, Ari?
I saw that neon hover and I went, nah, that's surely a troll, right? And I think it was just for the moment. But I mean, chances are that that top pick over from Zoe is going to be a Sova, and you're going to get your traditional there. But Team Prolific, maybe they're second guessing themselves after their comp from the previous round. I mean, who really knows? I mean, I guess they do because it's their comp. But Team Prolific, they want to have something that's going to surprise REY, whether that's playing the traditional and playing it well, exceeding their standards, or throwing that extra wild card in there. Maybe it's a Reyna. Who knows what it's going to be? And it's just a
I
scent
mean,
for you.
it is a sin for you, and it like I do see they're kind of hovering heroes here. We're not really seeing anything from Prolific. They're not haven't really picked up anything just yet. But off the bat, I love the double initiator. I was speaking about this earlier, where on maps like Breeze, you usually pick up something like a KO and a Sova purely because of the amount of information that these two initiators give. Now we've got the two initiators, we've got the smoke coming from Kassa, the very famous Omen on Kassa as well. We got Zipix on a duelist. I mean, tell me whatever else. And Clam's going to pick up the Sentinel role again. So we got a nice little lockdown from that. It's going to come down to how they want to play that. I did not see the lineup of Prolific. And judging by how you're looking right now, is there something that we did not, that I just missed?
uh, it's a Harbor, Viper, Phoenix, Reyna, and I believe the last one is KO.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we've got we've got the same comp. We've got double duelist, double a controller, and an initiator. We have no sentinels to lock down any site. I think Prolific's going to go down and say, look, we are going to double down on this, and we're going to focus directly on the type of play that we've been using in the previous game. Hopefully this works this time. Obviously, we're not playing split again. We're playing Ascent.
Yeah, that's true. But the pace change, I mean, I just feel like the smokes weren't quite on with that Harbor Viper on the first time. I mean, what makes them think it's gonna work again on the second time? But I mean, well, go for it. If this is their plan, if this is what they feel confident with, so be it. And that knife is gonna tag literally everyone but this Raze, and this Raze will get some damage down at least, but this could be a very scrappy fight coming in.
That could indeed be. KO knife is working quite favorably for them, but they do get a really decent start. Zippix. Zippix doesn't even need anything else except the gun in hand and a ghost ready to fight. And it seems like REY Esports is really coming up with a showing. And this is very normal that we've seen from the get-go, is this very aggressive play. But it does look like they might be able to bring this back.
I mean, you saw the Paychell kill. That's #1 on the day. I'm going to actually keep track this time because I feel like it'd be funny to see how many Paychell kills we're getting here with only one Raze, which is still very ironic, but 1v2 now, and that glass is broken. So this could actually be a little bit catching them off guard, but 5 HP now. That's not a lot. That's only the amount of fingers that I have on one hand, and
Just
I mean,
one?
sure, it might be a lot for humans, but
Oh, you don't have 6 fingers? Is that-
uh-oh.
I have the
No?
spike.
You just one out.
Enemy
Oh,
remaining.
hold on. Oh. Okay. Okay. You know what? I did not see it was a 4K. we almost just witnessed a beautiful ace, and that would have actually kind of helped him along this one. Like, if they got that ace, that would have been a very strong start against a team that has yet to lose a pistol round.
True. Yeah, they've been really, really nice on these pistol rounds, and they've been landing their shots. And I think that's what it comes down to at the end of the day, at least towards these pistol rounds, is REY Esports, they are shooting. That's kind of what they've been doing. Their strong suit is taking these fights, being aggressive, and they're winning them. Positioning, you know, whatever. If it goes their way, it does, but they're just winning these fights, and it's making it so tough for players like Phantom to live, and Zippix will get 2 and show you why the aim is very important. And Rising, sure, will get a Guardian for a little bit of free necessities, but players are still down and low, and it is going to be rough on the way in here, but they will get the bomb down.
They are going to get both the bomb down indeed, and the Minis actually might be able to. That's a good win for you, being having a classic and beating this bonus round. Now they need to try and hold down the site as best as possible. Prolific really needs to dig in deep, and I like the position that Sentinel went up there to try and get a bit more. But Clam, the lurker Sentinel that he's been playing, really helping them to anchor down the site. And it's going to prove quite difficult. Sentinel doing a pretty good job of holding this down. Zippix is quite crazy on any rifle you put in their hands, and that is just going to stand up true. 3K straight for the player from REY.
Yep, that's how you play that round there, and maybe a little bit costly for REY, but they do manage to get away with that 2-0 lead, and that's kind of what they set out to do. That was their game plan all along, and you know, as much as Zippix here might be on a Bulldog, we've seen what he can do with only just a Sheriff, so I don't think weaponry is going to be their problem here. I think it's just going to be a battle of the positioning, who can figure out what site is going to be the correct one to hit. But, I mean, you're talking at a very attack-sided comp for Prolific here, and they want to get rounds on the board. Now, this defense is not going to be as easy for them as they might imagine.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy for them at all. This is the buy round, and even as those words are taken up by that Bulldog again, so they're going to have to try and at least dig down a bit more. REY does seem they're going to take a different approach, though. That Swarm is doing a lot of damage to the back-end side of the Initiator, the only sole Initiator for Prolific. They're going to have to try and introduce something. Nice little pop flash going to come through, but Heek is a bit too quick for that. And Aria, it looks like they might be able to defend the site.
Yeah, this might be looking good for them, but the pop flash is out. 1 kill is found, but it is traded, so trades will favor the team on the bonus round at the end of the day, regardless of whose round it is in terms of the score. But Kasa will fall. Hike will get that one there, but Showstopper hopefully not going to be invested, as they want to keep that there, but they're trying to escape to heaven. The question is the time there for them to do so? Clam will fall with the bomb, and Rising too. So not a terrible bonus round. You get 3 down, you get yourself some alt orbs. Yeah, there's a showstopper online for your enemy, but you can't feel too sad about that one.
No, not at all. That's the round that they needed. They didn't get that round last game in Split. They lost 4 rounds in a row. So to be able to get something on the board immediately on your buy round is pretty strong. Now, even given that, losing 3 players on that buy round still is going to hurt your economy quite a lot. I don't know if I just saw correctly, but that is an operator being picked up by one of the players from REY. Indeed, it is. Zipix going to be on the front line of that op. They might be able to counteract this with something. He's going to miss out one, but I mean, come on. Put an op in this man's hand, let alone a bulldog, and you're going to get results.
And that's the first time we've seen the op, right? I believe. Oh, the shot! Not going to land, but the knives will, as that showstopper will get completely wasted. Rosa, by the way. But, you know, there's only so much you can do when there's a jet updraft, and Zipix now looking for more with this operator. Doesn't quite find the pick yet, but it's a 2v5. Just imagine how much pain that Prolific must be in right now. 1v5 now gets the one. The dismiss is there. The shot's not onto the second. So a 4-man retake will live to see another day, and 3-1 becomes the scoreline. REY seems to be looking pretty good right now.
REY, Zipix is on fire. What I just saw, showstopper coming up from that raise. Zipix just dashed to the side, updrafted with knives, and just cleaned up that kill without even missing a beat. That is like mechanical perfection. Excuse me, really difficult round. I do think Prolific had a tough time getting onto site, especially with that anchor. I've got a little bit of a hiccup. Excuse me, guys. A little bit of an anchor coming down just from a duelist on a jet playing around with them, but that is going to help them get a good start off the bat. So it's 3-1. I think this is the part of the game where it's going to slow down a bit more, kind of establish a good economy from both teams. We've got a kind of mismatch with pistols, vandals, and a light buy going to come out here from Prolific. But it does look like there might be a A side.
Yeah, and this A site seems to be relatively weaker. Nobody's playing on it quite yet, but that off is still in heaven, so that could prevent some sort of pain, at least towards the heaven area, and that will do so. That's an operator kill, by the way. Was that a wallbang? No, it wasn't, but it was a very nice placed headshot, and that's one from Maui as well. Kasa gets in on the action, and all of these battles are just going towards REY. It's down to Phantom. Stuck main, no snake bites available, just has to rely on the spam, and it's not gonna go super well. There's one kill, but not on the diffuser, and Phantom will go down 4-1 the scoreline now, and Zowie will clean that one up, and you're just seeing pure team play from REY. Just pure communication, and it's working really, really well.
You know, I'm going to say this outright. And I said this before as well when REY was playing up against Torpedo the other day. REY has this style of play that really is making me think about Sentinels in the current VCT kickoffs that's happening. Sentinels has this way of just giving the site away. The attacking side comes up, pushes towards site. All the Sentinels did, they push, just completely let go of site, give them the opportunity to push, and then they reset and they pick them apart piece by piece. They get a load of stragglers, start moving up from all angles to try and get those flashes, try and get the utility, and then they just collapse onto site and they take it back. And that's what I really like to see. The thing though about REY Esports that I'm seeing as well is they're not doing that the whole time. They are mix and matching, they're going for all types of different plays, and it's really making Prolific's time difficult to try and guess exactly what's going to happen.
And what's going to happen is Phantom will fall once again. And it seems like that's just the theme that we keep on seeing. First Blood keeps going the way of REY. They just have the upper hand, and it's just going to keep being a problem. Zowie will find that, but there's a flash that will not come to anything. It'll be a self-blind is what it'll actually end up blinding, but there's the kill on Zowie now, but expect a second. No, he doesn't. Clam will get that one beat up, and here's this KO ultimate to try and clean out the rest of site, but it is still very much doable. The op, though, turning a little bit too far, but a kill will come nonetheless, and the res will get up too. That's really, really big. That provides the information, and Clam will get that kill. off of the res bait. I mean, that's just perfectly played there.
That was disgusting. That flicker round from Mini was just pure adrenaline. Really though, got flashed. They peeked back. They were looking straight towards B main. Like not even remotely onto point. Flicker on, get the kill. Unfortunately, if they just peeked a little bit wider on Clam getting that raise on that KO, they might have been able to clutch that out. But they just maybe a bit too careful on that peak. And that's going to allow them to Clam to get that trade, just peeking with their teammate there and locking down that side. But good round all around. I do think Prolific is starting to pick up a bit pace. The question, though, is it a bit too late to get back into this game?
I mean, I certainly think that just with current momentum, it's tough. It's very, very tough. But you let these ultimates stack up, you can't get the value off of them. I want them to see their game plan based off of the ultimates that they have. And right now, Rare with from Zipix will let them get this entry. And here you go. Here's the ultimates. This is the round you have to secure if you want to get into this game. And right now, Kusa will not find that pick. So 3 ultimates are invested. Is this a little much? Could be. Very much could be. But if it gets them the round win, there isn't much that they wouldn't sacrifice to kind of get this round win at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if the aim isn't aiming, you might as well just throw down all the utility you have. If you got stuff like Viper, KO, Harbor, just throw it all down and hope it works. That's all you can do. That's exactly what they did. Prolific doing a good job at using the utility they have at hand, and they've locked themselves aside. Now it's going to put them up to 5-2. The real thing at the end of the day, though, is that you don't have ult every single round. So they know what they can achieve by getting this lockdown. And in my honest opinion, if they use utility from the Viper and Harbor, they might be able to replicate that again.
Yeah, and I think that Viper's Pit might have been just a bit much. I mean, it didn't provide really any util. Sure, it prevented that I guess that retake scenario, but it's just what value do you plan on getting from that Viper's Pit? You have the Odin, which for a Sova is very, very common. I mean, that spam kill could very, very much be there, and it's just one of those things where you gotta think ahead. I think for Prolific, they're just struggling with figuring out what they want to do ahead of time, and they're kind of doing it all in the moment. It doesn't seem like the plot is right there, right quite away. So, I mean, Rey, they seem to be on top of it, and here's the lead, here's the Odin spam, and it's just a little off. So,
yeah, just
I mean, no, at least
I just wanted to have a look there. They did manage. Oh, that grab almost gets the clip. But it actually takes him quite a lot, though. They do push straight onto side. Heeks immediately there with the blast back onto side and gets the first pick. Now they need to keep this momentum going. Rising's there, gets the one on Zawi. Now it's going to allow them a little bit more time to try and establish himself onto side. They've got a little bit of a back push. Maui's going to come through market area. It's got that flash available. Doesn't look like it's going to use just yet. Stu's still in the inventory as Kasa starts to come from the side. Zipix quickly there with the op to try and get the pick off. It tries to get the kill on Heek. But look at Kasa. He doesn't care what's going to happen. They're just going to try and push straight onto side. Zipix going to float up top. Tries to get the information, but the Harbor wall take it all out. Harbor's a bit low though. They do spot him in the peripheral. Is that Spectre's going to land? It's not. And the Dart is going to go down as well. Rising, playing the position here. Phantom also playing the off angle. They're going to get one. No, Spike is slipping down. Are they going to be able to get anything? Phantom still trying to hold on. The fuse is going to come through as they get the soak, but Custer's there immediately. And it is going to be enough time as Rey dismantles the support coming out from Prolific, as it seems to be another round going to Rey.
It can't be getting ecoed there, man. You had one player with a classic, one with a Spectre. I mean, sure, that op's in play, but it's just so detrimental to the mental, to the momentum of the game, even to the economy, really. You're looking at 6-2 right now, and this is something that, yes, we saw in map 1 a little bit different in terms of, yes, it was 6-0, then 6-3, but you're still seeing this timeout being used at around the same time. You're still seeing Rey be dominant, and they're on this defensive half, and they have no signs of slowing down. They have 3 ultimates. I mean, what can you possibly do to break through them?
That's a really good question. Really good question, Ari. And that is something that Prolific is asking each other right now on that timeout. They kind of got to the point where they kind of figured it out where Rey was going with this. But like I said before, Rey keeps changing it up. They're constantly innovating, moving in their game plan. And it's just good planning going forward. Now, Heek is doing wonders for the team. 10-6 as it stands.
really trying to spearhead that team into a. But it can't just fall onto one player. It needs to be all of them. Coming out of this timeout, they need to try and establish themselves into a little bit of a better rhythm.
Yeah, it's just they have so much time on the clock. I want to see them work space. Try and hit the site that you know is going to be the better one for you to hit. You don't want to hit a stack, and right now they're pushing into a DRX style push. It's not going to go super well for them. Zipix gets a flash for him, and oh boy, doesn't get the pick though. So luckily they escape with their lives, and they managed to fend it off. It might have been the read there. So the 2v4 now is the case, but Maui still has that operator looking very dangerous. And oh, there's an angle for him, but just barely living.
Oh, it's so close. He's going to get the info as well. Pushing around the corner. They might be able to get more clamps. Going to spam through the market. They're going to have to at least try and slow it down. You're going to have to get back. Clam's the last one standing. Any sort of information they get out of this is valuable in itself. If they get any sort of pick, it'd just be good. Clam just looks like they're going to go back on around the back end side and look for any sort of stragglers.
I mean, I guess depending on credits, I might think you could probably try and do some severe damage here. Sure, you want to save that gun, but I don't know if, there's too many credits on the side of Team Prolific. Maybe they can sneak one out just by doing that.
Yeah, I believe that it's yeah, it's a good save. Like honestly, you're not gonna win that one. It's 4v1. It's not gonna go anyone further. And that's a good round, 6-3. Now we're kind of getting to the same point where they were earlier. They were 9-3 going into the first half. So not a bad start. They're slowly starting to claw themselves back in. And funny enough, it's straight after the timeout. So just having that time to themselves is really proven very valuable in this one.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, they kind of just hit a site again. It's going to be a game of chance at that point. It's not about the mind game. Sure, you might think, okay, well, they went A, B, yada, 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 but it's just mid-rounding seems to be a thing that kind of is non-existent in this game, really. It's just all about where the plan is at the start of the game, and that's what they're going to stick to, and that's where I think you're going to see some teams separate in their skill and in their IGLing mainly, and maybe even the coaching. But see, the call here is an A split, and I don't think anything is going to really change from that.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, talk about as much as you can, but it's quite evidently that they're going to have to try and put some pressure up forward. They're using a good amount of utility. They might have used a bit too much getting that blast back shot in the back end because Clam's waiting there in that corner for them to push up forward. And REY, there's a lot going on right now.
Oh, Casa was still on site. They didn't fully clear sight, and that's what's going to happen when you don't clear sight, and you're going to get flawless. I mean, yeah.
What? Hold on. I looked away to get a glass of water. I looked back and the game's done? Wait,
well, actually, yeah.
Okay, cool. I just saw them go through tree. I mean, I saw the kill from Clam. I didn't see the race. Like, seriously, guys. Like, what?
Yeah, they didn't clear sight fully. And that player was just there, had the positioning, and there's just deadly crossfires. And that's why I'm going to keep saying, this cancellation is important. Yes, you see that Killjoy util. It stalls you for a second. Now, you can sure commit to that, but you haven't faked once. You haven't slowed it down. So the instant rotates are going to keep coming in. It's kind of just playing the game as you see it. It's kind of like ranked in that sense of you see someone and then you kind of rotate off. But here's some fighting now, and trades, they seem to go in favor of Prolific. So, hey, they'll take those ones, but still 2 ultimates online. Casa could be in a little bit of trouble here, but the flash comes out, and that player is very much so blind.
Yeah, that's going to be very difficult. REY's really putting up a lot of pressure onto Prolific. 7-3. Still, I mean, going into this run 5-7 could be good going into the second half. They might be able to work this, but are they going to be able to hold down these corners? I love where Heek is sitting right now. They don't even see it. Heek is just holding that corner perfectly, and it's plays like that's going to secure you more rounds. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you should be clearing that corner there. You didn't quite know where that player went, and sure, yeah, it makes sense that you kind of have to just gamble that it's going to be sight, but there are differences in that spike noise. You can hear when it's planted closer versus farther. And you could hear it was a little bit closer there, which means that player is going to be pushed up a little bit more. They're setting up some sort of crossfire towards the spawn. Always got to be ready for that. But
Yeah.
in terms of clearing that corner there, that's one of the rattiest corners in the map. I personally think that's where you should clear first. Now, once you get past that, then you can do your market split or whatever, your CT, retake. But in a 2v2, you got to be playing together, and nobody really cleared that corner. Nobody was holding that angle, and it got them cut off.
Yeah. That is fresh plays like that that's going to keep you in the game. You got to keep them guessing. REY's been doing it really well to Prolific, and now Prolific has to switch that around. So they've established themselves a good round. They've got back into the game. Prolific still doesn't have a lot of money. He can definitely buy G7, so he will have that support from his teammate. They have a classic on that. I think they might drop a Vandal for them. I do think REY's still pretty well set up in terms of utility. They even have this ult from Clam, so there's a lot of opportunities for them to get still back into this game. Now, I do like the way Clam's playing right now. I hate a shotgun. I do. I really do. But sitting up close like that with a nice little nano swarm just to cover your bomb, that's a really, really ratty play.
Yeah, and look at this defense here. There's no real map control gained by the defense, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day. If there's no defaulting, if there's no slows, if there's no presence, sure, you get a tag out on that Viper, but nobody's rotating. There's no fake that's been in sight. You've conditioned the enemy team to realize, hey, we're not going to push until we push. And there's no fake other than that. There's no rotate, no cancellation. It's just going on in, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this Harbor ult used this time. So it's just going to be kind of a gamble on how fast can they rotate over.
Yeah, that's. I like the way you put that. It is a gamble, exactly. And now they're going to hear the run's going to come straight up. Here it comes. All's going to come through from Raze as well. Heek trying to establish it up. There's the Harbor ult on the back end side. They don't got any information because guess what? REY is not there. It's all a fluke. It's all fairy dust in the air because they're going to come back straight back into it because Cuss is going to go around the corner. Zipic's there as well to try and help out for the team, but they're all just going to do so much. Zipic's just going to clean it up for the team. And oh, it gets a third one as well. And just like that, they wiped the team. And they're going to go straight for the defuse. 8 and 4. Oh my. That is a tough round for Prolific.
And the drone being invested there, and as well as the Blade Storm, they're looking to make sure that plant is definitely...
Yeah, that is last round for them. That's a tough one for Prolific to lose. Back to the pistol round. Hopefully, you know, Prolific could turn this round. They could win this pistol round. I don't want to say pistol rounds are important, whatever. It's mainly going to come down to that bonus round, which we can see the most action. But it could help them to at least get some sort of good economy going into this one. It looks like they're going to stack mid, as we have 3 players holding on that mid area. So, I mean, maybe that could be quite valuable.
Maybe, but you know, it looks like you're going to get this DRX style push. It's not going to be quite the same because you don't have that omen, so it might just be a push wall. Let's see how this push changes based off of the comp differences. And here comes the satchel in. Here's the flash as well. They're expecting it though. They're playing back. They're waiting for the aggression. They're actually waiting for at least some sort of KO utility, I would assume, but look at this positioning. Oh, they're just so ready for it. And oh, this isn't going to be good for Sientel as he peeks into 4 players, what could be at least.
Yeah, that smoke saved his life right there. It really did. I love the way they play this. I mean, you just put it up so perfectly. Like, literally just expecting these plays. They're going to have a free B side. This up forward push from Prolific kind of cost them an entire site. And now, oh my word, Clam is he's just there. He doesn't care. He's just going to hold down this corner. But Mini is going to be able to at least get that trade. And now comes the pushback.
4v4 post plant, but I mean, you got some decent amount of smokes available. Not too much util was invested on that execute, but you have that weaponry, which is really, really strong, and especially in a post plant. The spam will come in a close range map. It's going to be deadly, and there's the push ball. And Phantom will go down first. Trades are all there in favor of REY, and now it's just down to Mini. Mini is spamming through the smoke, but the jumping right click will do its work, and you'll have yourselves a 9-4 lead coming into this one.
Yeah, that's a pretty good lead you want to start yourself off with. This is, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, this is the second game of the series of 3. And we have on the attacking side right now, we've got REY Esports versus Team Prolific, which is defending for their life, mind you, as both these teams have yet to lose in this bracket of the tournament. Now, both of them have gone 2-0. So whoever takes this game will mean we'll go to best of 3, or someone's going to walk away having a pretty clean record in the Reyna's tournament. Now, first start off, I like this little dart, little track inside as well. Phantom's going to opt for the shorty, but that's going to give him away. Maui and the whole team going to spray through that smoke.
Yeah, these picks are just all gonna go in favor of REY. They're just winning these games, and yeah, I mean that's what you expect from that eco round, and that's that's just plain old Valorant for you.
It is plain old Valorant. That's just a, yeah, I mean, you're trying to hold down in the smoke. Everyone knows if there's a smoke in a choke point, there's probably going to be something inside of it. All right, you got to at least spray it. You know, there might be nothing for the whole game, but that one time you don't spray that smoke, there's an Omen, there's a Viper, there's a Brim, there's an Astra just lurking in there, waiting for you to take the wrong step and you get a short in the face. We're 10-4, Ari. This is going really good for Reyna. For REY.
Yeah, and it's even better right now. Is ooh, we could have yourself another pick on a clan, but look how many people are peeking that. They're not afraid, nor is Zowie running through mollies, running through dry chokes. I mean, everything is just a death ball of burning fire. So it's gonna be Zipix that gets one with the rifle, 5v3. The spam's almost there on the Phantom. What are you gonna do here?
I thought you can't really do much though. They're just kind of locked out in mid with Spike in hand and just kind of, I mean, G7's gonna get something, but Zipix is gonna be quicker to trade that. And I feel like I can't really place, as a caster, looking at the feed and I can see every single play on the map. The REY is confusing me, and I can't imagine how that must feel to Prolific. They are pushing site, they're staying down mid, they're waiting for the push. Then one that they're not waiting, they're gonna go for aggression site. Maui's here up with the smoke, waiting for any sign of audible information coming from this Heron area, and they're just constantly taking up space and putting a lot of pressure on to Prolific.
And that door is going to be broken, kind of alerting the presence, and there's a second shot as well, so both players are noted, but it becomes that question of who is going to push when, and the one-way smoke is going to say, no, you're not pushing anyway. We don't care, but, oh, they do manage to get the 2 picks. There's 3, and there's 4! Wow, what a retake, and just off the back of the Harbor Cove was crazy.
That was so important for them. I mean, that was just, it shows if you can really find your spacing and you can position yourself well and get that perfect timing, you can indeed win a game against REY Esports. It is possible. It is definitely possible. But they need to keep this going. This is the momentum that they need. Now we have 1 point away from Showstopper. So if they get any sort of kill off this pain canisters on B main, they might be able to get a pretty fantastic kill. 17-10 for that duelist on Prolific. Might be able to set themselves up for another one. Pain Canisters is going to go out. I don't think they're going to be able to get anything else. I don't think Keek is really focused too much on getting this ult immediately out the point, as they are kind of waiting where REY's going to be. This team is mid. It's both on all your sides. They're just everywhere.
Yeah, REY, they want to close this one out quicker. They don't want to let, you know, this other team come right back into this game, get them within a few rounds, and it's gonna make sense why they want to. You gotta keep that and be done with the day, save your energy for the rest of the tournament. But it's just the picks aren't going their way at the moment. There's the showstopper invested, and there are some picks after picks after picks, and this is not looking like a round that REY can be winning here. Of course, it is still very doable. We saw a 2v4, but now it's just a 1v5, and this is gonna be my last round as I have something to attend to, but it's just, it's one player left and the one round left for me.
I mean, first of all, I just want to say thank you for casting with us today, Ari. It's been phenomenal to be able to cast with you. really been enjoying it. Your energy has been mad.
30 seconds
And it
left.
is quite sad to not be able to see more of you. But thank you so much for stepping in last minute. And I'm not going to be able to say this, obviously, not at the end. But thank you for pulling in. And thank you so much for helping us today with this course, man.
Yeah, thank you. And you're going to have to let me know how the end of this game goes. But here's my prediction. It's going to be a 2-0. Rey, excuse me, is going to take this one 13-8. That's my prediction, and that's what I will leave you with. See you, everyone.
30-8. I'll write it down, and I'll let you know what it is. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Cool. Well, we're going to take a quick timeout as we're going to wait for these teams to kind of establish themselves back in. REY has gone for that timeout as they have lost 2 games in a row, 2 rounds, sorry. So that's going to be quite a difficult one for it. And they're going to have to establish themselves back into this one. Now, question stands, can they bring it back? I'm not going to be exactly able to tell you that, but the timeout usually is the best one. Best time. Sorry, excuse me. The timeout is the best time to try and get back to it. It does look like I'm going to be solo casting this, and this is kind of, you know what? I like this. I've done a lot of solo casting before, and this is a kind of a Mad Hatter opportunity for any caster. You have a conversation with yourself. It's like being married. You kind of, someone comes with questions, answer it immediately. So that's exactly what we're going to go for now. So I'm going to use you, the audience, to look at this game with me. We're going to tell a kind of story as we get back into this. Now, we have Prolific and we have REY. Both these teams have been playing really well in this best of 3, and both of them really have to try and hold on to this as best as they can. Going into this round, time is going to be the most. Now, we've got a dart straight off the bat to try and clear out that tree site. And they are going to be able to spot up Mini and double peeking it down mid. Going to try and get that pick. But Zowie, actually, with that share, spots out someone pushing up too forward. Mini might want to look for something, but they have to watch out because they do have that utility used up. Now, Outlaw is a pretty intense rifle to go up against. If you only have a pistol, 1 shot to the body, if you don't have any armor, is going to be that it for you. So Smoke's going to come out and does look like Mini's going to play in the smoke. Outlaw's in hand, picture on the corner, but Casa actually expecting it to come through. But yeah, pretty good start. I'm going to slow it down now as well. I'm going to try and set their sights onto something here. It does look like Prolific is having a hard time trying to figure out where he's going to go. They're going to position their rays up into tree to try and listen to
30
anything.
seconds left.
But the rotation from REY is quite slow. They're crouching down, darts in hand, Zowie ready at hand. Trying to get the information on Heaven. That's going to give them exactly what they wanted. That's going to push them straight back onto site. So REY have the opportunity. 13 seconds pushing down on the clock to get that plant down. 9 seconds going to go. They need to get that spike down as quickly as possible. There comes the spike. Flash around the corner. 4 seconds left behind. TLC rising there immediately off the back. Zhao is there with the Outlaw. And the Guardian from Zivik is going to clean up quickly as they try to hold on for dear life. But Heek does not have the shots with the Classic. So they're going to bag themselves the round. Extremely important. 11 and 6. REY really playing mind games now. 6 seconds on the clock before they got that plant down. And I think the pause is necessary here, as we do want Prolific to get back into this. Interesting peek here from Mini, picking up White with the operator. That dart is going to spread out. They might have an opportunity. They are going to be able to get at Zipix, a key player for REY. Goes down. Picture on the corner. Mini gets another one. An absolute phenom here with the operator. And that's good for them. They need this. Prolific needs this. As they get 2 important picks. Now, still 3 left. REY has decided to put the spike down into their spawn, as they're looking for a sign of play. And I quite like where Clam is right now. Clam's holding the other side. They don't really know where he's going to peek from, but Clam might be able to spot up the Harbor. Barely sees a leg, though. Harbor's going to use that wall to lock it off. They do know that Clam is there indeed, so they're going to back away. That's already given them the information. So at any point, though, they might go for the rotation. Dart's going to come out, but the harbor wall actually blocks him. He might be able to get some sort of surprise there. He can actually get one of them back inside. The molly from the KO actually helps out for, goes up against his teammate as we get 11 and 7. And that is not looking too good for REY. As I like the way Prolific's playing. The patience there from the harbor to sit behind his wall. And I mean, the dart from the Sova, unfortunately, just not clipping onto anything. And that's going to be a very, very, very important round for them. I keep saying very important. I think I'm kind of just stuck in that. But it's going to be a tough one for them to come back into. Good round for them off the bat. Maui got the rifles ready. Does look they're going to go. Does look like they're opting for a bit of a different push here. Ult in hand for Clam as Attackers Killjoy is going to get initiation down. Mini is going to opt for pushing it a bit wider here with the operator. Is going to go tail between the legs, back away immediately. They might be able to play from back aside. The smoke should come through here. Sova's going to be able to get the information off the back here. The dash from Maui. They don't have any information. No stop that updraft and push through. Now they've got sight down. They're going to go for the plant. The Omen's there immediately off the bat. Maui gets one kill on Rising as they're trying to hold this down. We got the ult coming through from Ciento. As they can immediately go down for the slow. Pika getting utility through that swarm. As Mini also trying to push up forward. Now we have a nice little off-angle peek here from Clam. Might be able to look for something. Look at that nice flash from Maui as he looks for something more. Pain Canister is going to come through on Clam. That's going to do a lot of damage. He do a good job at sussing out the rat, and they're going to be able to clean up quite more. Maui still on site. We still have 3 going to come out from REY. The spam to the back end side. Classic it on as Maui goes for the 4. Possibility as an ace. And they're going to back away. Kussa, teammate, the member that's going to be helping them secure that round. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, it is match point in favor of REY. As we see a good play from this. It's not over just yet, but what a round and what an integral round for REY Esports in this one. So much went their way there. Prolific really did well in holding that corner. They hate the pain canisters on Clam to suss out that corner. But the flash that came through from Maui around that B area it just stopped them from pushing both out. There was nothing more they can do. And just like that, they just started to fall one by one. REY's going to opt for the default push here again, throwing down Spike in their spawn, hoping that no one knows or even tries to figure out what is going to be their play. 12 and 7. Looks like they are going to push forward slightly on A. As they look at information, they do hear the Killjoy bot. The crazy thing about Killjoy utility though is there is a range to it. So as soon as Clam leaves that site, it might tell Prolific it's not going to be there anymore. If not that, it's going to be the push straight onto A side. That might give them the chance. We're going to see the whole team of Prolific going to go through the spawn areas to try to push forward. KO Dart's going to land on one, going to give them the information that they need. Now they know they're there, but it does look like Prolific is taking a page out of the book of REY as they're going to hold back on site and play the post spot. Heaven downside might be able to get a pick. No, instead they're going to go back into tree inside. One pick from Zipix. That might be it's G7 holding on so slowly, trying to hold on, but gets it taken out by Zipix. Maui takes it down. Also going to come through from the harbor. Zipix going to be able to get one more. Zau's going to be there quick on Rising, and just like that, clubs in, takes the last kill for the round, and is going to the side of REY Esports. What a fantastic showing by this team. An absolutely brilliant play by such a dominant team in the Reyna's tournament. And big congrats to them for showing such a dominance as well. And all I can say is I am very, very happy with that play. Now, as things are, we have to get these teams in. We have to have a good discussion with them. We have to have a chat and just see where was the mindset of REY to be able to give us the showing that we got today. Players like Zipix just showed a phenomenal ability to be up on the front line and really push forward. But on the scoreboard, I'm seeing Heek on that game with 24 kills. 24 kills on that game, getting the most amount of frags that game for his team. And the person just below him on 10 kills was Mini. So I do think that Heek was trying their utmost best to try and keep Prolific into that game, but unfortunately, it was not meant to be. But congratulations to REY for taking that win, and that's going to put them up quite nice and high into the next part of the bracket, into the next part of this tournament, as they're now starting to establish themselves. Going up against, I do believe, if I quickly look to my side, they're going to go up against Oasis Verd in the quarterfinals on this next one. So we are going to do some match interviews. So we're going to get the teams into the Discord. Sorry, guys. I am doing this by myself at the moment as we're casting our own. But yeah, really, really good game. So we're going to get the team in. We're going to get the coach, the IGL, and Maui as well. Yeah, we're going to get Maui in as well just to try and have a chat and see what these teams have to offer us. So we're just going to wait for these two players to come in. We've got a few questions for them. If you guys are in chat right now, feel free to ask a few questions. There is about a couple of minutes delay, so feel free to ask that, and we might be able to squeeze it in time. So I'm going to pop down to the Discord. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just quickly trying to figure out this. I have become too. Well, okay. So it also looks like I'm being resized as well in the active pod of casting. So anyway, really, really good round. We're just waiting for these teams to go back in. But if you guys are watching right now, please tell me exactly what you thought of that game. Obviously, REY was doing a great job throughout the whole game. I was talking a bit with Ari about their ability to push sites. Obviously, I saw a lot of you guys saying in chat that Prolific just wasn't using those controllers effectively. They wasn't using the Viper wall to try and get towards the site. And I do agree with you guys. I really do. I think there was a lot of opportunity for them to get a hold of site, but they just kind of missed the mark. Having two duelists and two controllers, they should have been able to get more out of that. So cool. So I'm gonna pop over to them just to have a chat. Okay, cool. I'll have a chat with them now.
Okay, I'm here, I'm here.
Did you have to get permission, Minnie?
Yeah, I didn't have perms.
Okay. You remember the rules, boys? What Ollie was saying before about
Oh.
this?
Not really.
Basically just
Hello.
Yep.
They work for us and they're adapted to what we want to do.
Okay, my next question is now to Law, right?
Mhm.
Have you been watching Sentinels play on Sunset?
No.
Okay, because I need to ask this because I saw Sentinels play up against G2 the other day, and their comp was specifically centered around giving sight away to the attackers and then coming up for a post plant. Is that something that you guys were actively trying to do, going up against a double controller, double duelist lineup, or was it something that just came naturally in that game?
This comp we made, we took how do I say this? Like We made it our normal comp and just changed a couple of things that we didn't like and build it our own. This is 100% us. I don't think we took anything from anyone.
You know what? I like that. I love that answer just because of the fact that at the moment you guys are playing like a very well-oiled machine. It is doing really, really good. And was your goal to? This question is going to go to Zawi. Was your goal to confuse Prolific in that game?
Well, we've obviously played against them quite a bit before, so I think we had a good idea what they were going to think we're going to do. So, for example, we scrimmed a lot against them and always DRX'd round one off pistol. And as you saw, we stacked on A first rounds because I kind of just predicted they're just going to hit fast A and because they know we're DRXing. So I think, yeah, a bit of anti-stratting came into that. Obviously, us knowing them helps. But yeah, to be honest, with their comp, they had no utility to get information apart KO knife. So the main idea was to just basically default up or just basically make sure they don't know what the fuck's going on and we know what's going on. And they couldn't handle it and they got lost in the sauce and we took the dub.
I love it. I like that's perfect, and I think that's exactly the answer I wanted to get. For the viewers watching right now, we do apologize for the audio cut out there in the beginning. Basically, my first question to them, obviously in the beginning, was, "Are they confident on the cocky?" And Zawi immediately said, "Yes, I am extremely cocky, and I'm going to win every single game." So that's just to run you guys quickly down that. So my next thing, just to off the win of this everything, you guys are going to go up next against, if I'm not mistaken, your next game is going to be Oasis Verd. You guys got any plan for them? Obviously, don't give away your predictions and what you guys want to do. But is there you guys any sort of game plan you guys set up for that game?
So right now we're focusing and doing one game at a time. So right now we focused on TPR, and after this we're gonna start working on Oasis. So it's gonna be we're ready for them.
Perfect. Okay. Very short and sweet answer. I like it.
Yeah.
And then one more question: how much do you guys practice on a weekly basis?
I think
Let Maui answer this one.
I think the beautiful thing about this team is the fact that everybody is very willing to learn and put in the time. So I think just basically all the time, or like when we compare the free time of everybody, and everybody has, I feel, quite a lot of this, we put it into practice. And even after the hours, we sometimes hop in calls and just rewatch VODs or get some lineups, get some plays going. And if we put all the practicing and timing customs together, it actually it comes up to quite some hours daily, I think.
Hmm.
And this is for everybody together, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
A lot of credits to Maui for that as well. He puts in
Yeah.
a lot of the extra work into VODs and stuff, reviewing them himself. So part of the reason we won today is obviously him and the rest of the team, obviously, as well.
That's awesome. And I love to hear that from teams that they're always trying to invest in improving themselves. Now, with obviously, I can see the amount of effort that you guys are putting into games. Your play style is just phenomenal to be able to cast, and it's really smooth flowing. You guys are always thinking on your feet. Is there anything more that I can expect from REY Esports going into the future? You guys looking at jumping up a few divisions?
Oh, absolutely. Our plan right now is to win this tournament. I don't think, and right now I'm seeing the competition. No one is gonna stop us.
I love it. I love the positive. I like that go-getter attitude. That is exactly what I need. And so far, you guys, I'm a person that likes the best of three. It's just a bit more content, But the content out there, these plays you guys are giving us, that's more than enough, really. I don't need to ask for anything else. So from our side, congratulations on winning this, your third game in a row. And we look forward to watching this next few come up. If I don't cast it, I'm excited just to be on the viewing side to be able to watch it. But yeah, thank you so much again for today. Is there anything that you guys want to say to Oasis Verd for that next game?
Yeah. Chris, watch out, bro. I'm coming for you, man. You ain't safe. You better start stratting now because, yeah, we're coming for you, bro.
I love it. You heard it right here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, thank you so much, guys. REY Esports, you guys have been doing fantastic in this tournament. I hope you guys have a wonderful time. Enjoy the practice up until the next game, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah,
Cheers,
thanks.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right, guys, we're going to jump over to Team Prolific quickly, and let's just have a chat with them. How's it, guys? How you guys doing today?
Good yourself?
bit of a tough day. I'm quite sorry about that. I think it was a bit of a rough one. I did see a lot of potential you guys got out. So first off, I just want to say to the coach, where was you guys' mindset at going into the second map after that first map loss?
Look, we were definitely looking to bounce back. We take it on a map by map basis, and I'm the type of person to say, look, after map one, forget about it, move on, and let's try and grab the dub on the second.
Okay, cool. So going up against REY Esports obviously was a bit of a, I wouldn't say challenging, but I definitely would say it was an interesting play. I saw them constantly switch around their tactics quite a lot. You guys seem to have tried to stick to one type of comp, and that was the double duelist, double controller, and one initiator play. Can you guys take me through the decision to do that?
So that's sort of my personal coaching style. Ever since I joined Team Prolific back in November, it's something that I've always wanted to sort of incorporate into the team. The double duelist style, that is. So we went through a few roster shifts in early January, and we tried some things out with the double inish, but we found that it just didn't really work for us. So we sort of looked at it, reset, and said, "Look, the double duelist is our play style. It's for us, and we're going to run it."
Okay. I mean, today it looked like it went well. Obviously, it could have gone better. I think it was quite an interesting play. And Rising, you on that raise was something disgusting. Obviously, we saw getting you got the most amount of frags that previous game. So you got 24 frags above a Zipex in that game. How do you feel that game progressed? Unfortunately, the team was a little bit behind, but you look like you really got into that swing of things into that second game.
Unfortunately, I didn't play race. I was the harbor.
Were you?
But yeah,
Oh, my apologies. Sorry, I'm looking at the names that was given to me, and I completely blanked on that one. I know, Mini, you were playing the Reyna before that.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sorry about that. I think Heek was the one that was playing the Rays, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, my apologies. Well, you were playing Harbor. I I loved. I'll just throw a question at you then directly. The walls and stuff you were throwing down was really well. Did you like the way that you were able to play off a Viper, and get a lot of utility down? What was the thought process behind when you guys were trying to attack a site?
I think the hobble is nice to have grouped up with the Viper because the Viper can kind of make her own plays do her thing and then shut down what she needs to, while Harbor can just be a team player. It just makes life a bit easier, not only on Viper like playing for herself or like playing for map control, but it makes the rest of the teams easier in the sense that there's just so much utility to throw out.
Definitely, and I mean it was a lot of utility you had to throw out. Now with some of the push that you guys on the attacking side try to get onto A site on Ascent that game, w- there was a lot of opportunities where he had that ult to push onto site. You guys had all the utility. You guys threw down everything you got. That one round you picked up, you had also the ult from the Viper just to lock down the site even more. But when you guys got on site, REY Esports were nowhere to be seen. Was this something that you feel like threw you guys off a little bit, or was it something you guys try to account for the way that they play offside?
We know from previous experience playing Ray that they do play heavy retake style, especially on Ascent. We've played them before on Ascent in tournament games and scrims, so there we know we can anticipate that they are going to play that retake. So yeah, it is definitely something that in game we were aware about and thinking about.
And I mean, it was a tough game, but that's besides the point. I do believe there's a lower bracket you guys going to drop down to, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So there's still opportunity. There's obviously you guys also was in a 2-0 lead going into this game. So both you and REY had a really good opportunity to move on forward and keep that streak going. Now, how are you guys feeling about the continuation in this tournament? And are you guys looking at changing a few things?
I'm all for a lowest bracket run. I believe we're waiting on the outcome of V2X and TSC. I'm unsure of when that game is, but we'll be keeping an eye out to see who comes in and faces off against us. But for us, yeah, definitely back to the drawing board. And I'm going to come back stronger for the next time we're going to play in this tourney.
I love that. I really love that. And I do wish you guys the best. And yeah, it was a tough game today, but you guys sound like you still high hopes, and it was, you know, it's just one game out of the day, and it sounds like you guys got everything sorted. So thank you so much for the interview. I really appreciate it, and yeah, I hope to see you guys in the next few casts.
Of course, take care.
Okay. Bye bye.
Take
Thank
care,
you.
guys. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Alrighty, boys. Do you want to hop in our GC deck quick, Mini? Rising? Alright.
Yeah, I guess.
There we go. All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So you guys heard it here today. We had REY Esports doing crazy games today, crazy plays. We had a caster drop out last second. REY had to step in. He helped us out phenomenally into the middle of the second game. I've tried my best to give you guys a good amount of content, good interview. You know, today has been, I think, a wonderful day of a lot of things happening, not as perfect as we wanted it to happen, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's still made for some amazing games. So from my side, I just want to send a massive thank you to the Reynas for giving us this tournament to be able to cast. The production team on the sideline, you guys don't see them, and I think it's easy to forget about people in the background trying to give us the best type of broadcast. And today, unfortunately, I know it was a bit hit and miss, but trust me that there's a lot of work being done in the background, and sometimes it's just one of those days. Even I have a bad cast today. I think a bad cast every now and again, but from my side, a massive thank you to you, the viewer. You guys are really the people behind giving places like this the opportunity to be able to do more events and the viewership necessary. And obviously, the fans. I was looking at chat the whole time. You guys were going absolutely mad at enjoying this game, and I love to see it the whole time. So from me, Shaky, I wish you guys all the best, and thank you so much for tuning in today. We'll see you guys on the next one. Have an absolutely amazing evening. Cheers, guys.